Good evening. I'm Christopher Potter.
I'm Ian Bretz.
And I'm Jared McNeil.
And tonight we will be investigating Columbia Pain Management, an Oregon-based stem cell clinic. Stem cell clinics are on the rise across the United States. Centers that offer stem cell treatments as solutions for everything from joint aches to Parkinson's. But recently, questions have arisen as to the efficacy and the honesty of some of these clinics. When dealing with experimental treatments not yet approved by the FDA, it is important to investigate these treatments and those who offer them. Columbia Pain Management has 3 offices, all located in Oregon, the main in Hood River, and secondary locations in the Dallas and Portland. Before an investigation of Columbia Pain Management can be conducted, however, an understanding of their sponsor is required. Columbia Pain Management offers Regenix stem cell procedures geared toward treating a number of joint and tendon problems, including but not limited to arthritis, torn ACLs, nerve inflammation, and carpal tunnel syndrome. Regenix stem cell procedures begin by extracting bone marrow from a patient's hip. Afterward, as explained on Columbia Pain Management's website, the stem cells are isolated from the marrow sample and platelets are isolated from the blood sample. After preparation, these 2 components will be re-injected directly into the damaged area of the joint using advanced imaging guidance. In explaining the reasoning behind this process, the clinic states that stem cells are in all of us, and they are responsible for healing injured bone, ligaments, tendons, and tissues. But we sometimes cannot get enough of these cells into the area in need. The Regenix procedures help solve that problem by precisely delivering a high concentration of stem cells and growth factors into the injured area, aiding your body's ability to heal naturally. While the claims of mesenchymal stem cells helping the body to heal problems such as inflammation do have some backing from the broader scientific community, in justifying the efficacy of their treatments, Columbia Pain Management merely cites studies conducted by Regenix. Having established briefly the science behind the procedure, let's examine these studies that support its validity. Regenix published 2 kinds of studies regarding the treatments, either observing the efficacy of the treatment or observing the safety of the treatment. 3 studies were conducted to evaluate the effectiveness of knee procedures, and 1 study each was conducted for hip, shoulder, hand and wrist, foot and ankle, and spinal treatments. All of the studies suggest measurable improvement in patient functionality and boast a high degree of statistical significance. However, none of the studies contained any control groups, and all relied on subjective patient self-reporting of the level of pain they experienced performing various tasks. As such, it is unclear whether the procedures are truly helping or whether the data is simply explained by the placebo effect. Regenix also claims to have published more data on stem cell safety in peer-reviewed medical research for orthopedic applications than any other group worldwide. This claim refers to a 2016 study of 2,372 patients who had undergone various Regenix procedures. The study concluded that the prevalence of abnormal tissue growth, such as cancer and teratomas, was no higher for Regenix patients than it is for the general US population.
These results sound quite promising and appear to back up Columbia Pain Management's assertion that their stem cell treatments pose no risk of cancer to patients. Or, as they state on their website, the basic science on adult stem cells shows that if the cells are kept in culture for short periods, there is no risk of the cells becoming cancerous. This, in turn, would back up their claim that the stem cell treatments are safer than alternative procedures like steroid therapies, posing only the risks inherent in any injection procedure: bleeding, pain, tissue injury, and a lack of response to treatment. However, according to IPScell.com, a website authored and maintained by notable stem cell researcher Paul Naupfler, quote, "The complex, unfortunate reality is that any cell, when given as a transplant, has a potential risk to form a tumor and an additional risk to cause other side effects. Period. The risk is not zero. MSCs and adult stem cells, more generally, are not by definition inherently safe. That is absolutely false." This seems to conflict with the conclusion drawn in Regenix's study, so let's take a closer look at where this study comes from. The lead author of the study supporting the safety of the Regenix procedure is Christopher Centeno, CEO of Regenix and medical director at Regenerative Sciences Incorporated, the manufacturer of Regenix. Another author, Michael Friedman, is a longtime partner of Centeno and defended a Regenix procedure in court against the FDA, a case that we will examine in more detail later on. Hassan Al-Sayegh, another co-author, also works for Regenerative Sciences Incorporated. While there is nothing inherently wrong with the company publishing a study on the safety of its product, when such blatant conflicts of interest go unmentioned and that study is used as the sole evaluation of the product's safety, one must question whether the findings are entirely accurate. Earlier, we mentioned a court case the FDA brought against Regenexx. This was the 2013 case USA versus Regenerative Sciences, in which the FDA ordered Regenerative Sciences to halt its implementation of Regenexx-C, a procedure the FDA argued constituted a biological drug as opposed to the practice of medicine. The court ruled in favor of the FDA, given that the procedure involved culturing patient stem cells for weeks between extraction and reinjection, constituting more than minimal manipulation, a criteria for biological drugs. After losing the court case, Regenerative Sciences did stop offering the treatment in the US. However, they instead began offering it in the Cayman Islands.
Having examined the Regenexx treatments offered by Columbia Pain Management, let's look at the clinic's specific implementation. The clinic's website never mentioned specific prices for any of the procedures, instead encouraging individuals to sign up for a consultation if they desire additional information. We signed up for additional information on the logistics of the treatments, whereupon we received an email stating that we would have to pay $200 for a consultation. Lacking the ability to spend $200 on a consultation, as well as the ability to travel to Oregon, we dug deeper into other sources and discovered that the cost per treatment runs from around $7,000 to $8,500. While Columbia Pain Management does not usually perform follow-up care, they will for an extra $3,500. Having investigated the treatments offered by Columbia Pain Management, let's move on to who exactly administers these treatments. While the primary physiatrists are certified in physical medicine, rehabilitation, and pain management, there is no indication that any individual on the Columbia Pain Management staff has sufficient training or experience to perform any type of stem cell treatment or operation. The two doctors who carry out the procedures, Dr. Trey Rieger, the founder of Columbia Pain Management, and Dr. David Russo, are described as pain management specialists, but their biographies on the clinic's website lack any mention of stem cell training or education. While we confirmed the legitimacy of their undergraduate and graduate degrees, as well as their medical licenses, it's concerning to see a stem cell procedure offered by individuals who lack any training in that particular area. As for marketing and public relations, Columbia Pain Management largely capitalizes on the commercial success of Regenerative Sciences Incorporated, relying on Regenexx news coverage and anecdotal patient success stories to send patients their way. The clinic itself does not have any substantial prominence beyond a page on Yelp.com, on which is currently sitting at a 1 star out of 5, and all 3 of the written reviews speak very negatively about the clinic. Another PR tactic sometimes used by stem cell clinics is that they employ fake patients to make up stories about how the treatments positively affected their lives. Columbia Pain Management, though it appears to rely in part on word of mouth to gain additional patients, shows no usage of fake patient anecdotes as a means of promoting its services. Having evaluated a number of factors regarding the clinic, the question remains as to whether Columbia Pain Management is a legitimate treatment source. In an effort to gain additional information before making this judgment, we contacted the clinic a total of 5 times, but were never able to get a hold of someone on the phone. As such, we are left only with the information we were able to uncover online. Given the questionable results of the Regenexx trials, it is unclear that Columbia Pain Management offers effective treatments for the conditions they claim to mitigate. However, we find it unlikely that the treatments are as actively dangerous as some of those offered by other clinics, such as allogeneic or xenogenic transplants. Additionally, there are few overtly deceptive claims made by the clinic, and the individuals administering the treatments are clearly skilled, if not in the area stem cells specifically. In summary, Columbia Pain Management is not the most egregious evidence for the need of more thoroughly regulated stem cell procedures. However, it does still highlight some of the issues in offering what may be the world's most expensive placebo.